Greetings sailors and welcome back to World of Warships. Today I'm going to look at the tier 7 of the new French destroyers, Le Hardi, and this is where the line actually starts to do something a bit different in that the torpedoes get a little bit funky. Now in the tier 6 video I think I mentioned something about it would be interesting if you could select different kinds of torpedoes. Well, you don't get to select different kinds of torpedoes, but it does have a different kind of torpedo, because you look at it at first glance and for a 550mm torpedo you think, wow, that's a lot of damage, especially at tier 7. It's nearly 20k damage, except that 20k damage if you hit something within 6 kilometers, after which point there is a damage drop off. So it's kind of like an inverse of submarine torpedoes, how they are now, where you can't shotgun stuff easily anymore because torpedoes only hit their maximum damage after a certain distance, and that's, you know, supposed to combat people popping up and blasting you for full damage at point blank range where you can't do anything about it. Well, this is sort of like the closest thing in terms of destroys I can compare it to is maybe the Paolo Emilio, where you pop up with obviously the fuel smoke in that case, but you pop up close range to somebody and blast them with a bunch of damage, except of course this time you don't have smoke to work with, so it's going to be a lot harder to get that maximum damage. But if you do, I mean, it's not like you get a lot of torps per side. It's only 6 per side, but you can spin around and do another in fact it's not even 6 per side, it's 5. If you count the centre line as a per side, I suppose it's 2 side mounts and a centre line mount. So the maximum you can do, how about I say it that way, the maximum you can do is 5 per side and then spin around and drop another 2. And in theory you could do a pretty decent amount of damage that way, but in practice you're not going to be doing that. The max range of 10 kilometers is pretty decent though, and crucially the 6.3 is surface concealment is pretty decent for tier 6. Tier 7 rather. A lot of the tier 7s don't have good concealment at all, so it's not amazing, but it's still pretty decent. Speed, the base speed's still pretty high. I don't know if there's much else to talk about. Your reload gets a little bit faster, 5.5. You're at 130 mils now, so they are rather punchier than the 120 mils. They actually fire faster than the 120 mils as well, so overall the firepower is a definite upgrade. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this plays, because I wasn't that impressed with the Douche FO. It didn't feel like a huge upgrade from the tier 5. It kind of felt more like a tier 5.5 rather than anything else. So we'll see what this experience is like at tier 7. Right, this is not too bad. Tier 8 game. I don't think we've got any radar to worry about. I'm pretty sure the Pajarski doesn't have any radar, or Pazarski, I'm not entirely sure how one says that. And there's no CVs. Also, yes, that is a poor starving cat you can hear meowing pitifully in the background. Poor Percival. I never ever feed him, you know. Never ever. He does such a good mournful meow. Yeah, he's... If I could compare him to a dog, it would be a Labrador. He just seems to be a walking stomach. But I think that is in part, I've probably said this previously, but yeah, he was obviously a pet at some point and then was just tossed out, which is, you know, there's not that many things that make me quite angry, but, you know, that sort of thing is one of them, people being cruel to pets. And so obviously he went through a period of not having access to a lot of food, and you can see how that would then give a certain urgency to any and all food sources becoming available. So now, even though he's in a situation where he is being fed multiple times a day, and he in theory should know he doesn't have to worry about food, well, it's just so ingrained that he does have to worry about food that, yeah, if it's even just a couple of hours since he last got fed, he starts mithering. So yeah, I don't know if he'll settle down long term. I've only had him for a couple of months with the fostering, so we shall see. What would be lovely is if he does get some household that's interested in taking him that can give him a nice stable experience long term. This is the cutoff marker, and we are spotted briefly. We don't have smoke to fall back on. We do have torpedoes that we can try and put out. Ideally, we don't want to get into a gunfight. It is Benson. Okay, that can smoke. Oh, we're not going to be able to. Okay, let's us manage to break contacts. That cat. I do want to apologise if there's other background noise other than Percy, because my neighbour is, even though it's actually quite late at this point, my neighbour's decided today is a day they're going to be doing some banging and drilling, which is of course carrying through the wall. So I've got it from both sides, but hopefully that will be. Oh, it's like I can hit. We'll see what damage it does at very long range, if it's going to hit. 16. Okay, that's still pretty decent. That was like 8k per torpedo. So that's still not terrible. That was on the aft section though, so that was that would have been without any torpedo damage reduction from the belt, of course. Right. Yeah. So the drop off doesn't seem to be that harsh if you can manage to get like multiple torpedoes. I'm trying to just stay in the cap right now. The reload's not fantastic, 108 seconds, but you know, take some damage and you can improve that, and you can also take torpedo skills to improve that as well, of course. Yeah, there goes the banging from the neighbour. Hooray. The one day, I mean, I won't say the one day, really, but you know, finally this week, me going, right, I really should, I need to record something, because I've just been feeling bleh and miserable most of the week. Of course, it's a day when I can't escape there being cats and neighbours banging on the wall and whatnot, and it's been, the banging has been basically all day. Percy, on the other hand, you know, he was fed, like I said, only a couple of hours ago, but by Percy logic, that now means he's a poor starving boy, and he's literally about to starve to death. Poor kitty. I'm actually getting about to the point where, like, I think he's... When I first got him, this is just going to be me talking about cats, isn't it? When I first got him, I mean, he was basically, like, he was scared of people, hiding in a corner of the bathroom as much as possible. Like, he wouldn't let me go near him. He was kind of panic weeing and panic pooping at times, which was not that pleasant to deal with, as one can imagine. And we're now at a stage where I can be walking around and he's curled up on the sofa and he won't immediately run away because you know, the human stood up, which was the case for quite a long time. Like, even when he was comfortable being out and about, curling up on the sofa, the moment I get up out of my chair, or got up out of my chair, he would just immediately bolt off the sofa and run back to the bathroom, or at least, you know, try and run behind some furniture or something. But yeah, he's slowly getting there. He's slowly getting there. I have no idea what he went through, but whatever it was, it must have been pretty horrible. So anyway, that's Percy. He's quite a nice little kitty, all things considered. And then of course there's Sam. Sam is lovely as always. I don't know, what else is there to say about Sam? I don't really need to say much. He is Lord, His Fluffy Highness Samuel I, King of all he surveys. You know, that's it really. There's not much more else that needs to be said. He's the best fluffy cat in the whole world. I was reading, it was one of those random things you read on Reddit about a Chinese emperor. I can't remember which one, that basically was just Turbo Cat Dad, and he wrote something. It was like essentially writing poetry or whatever about his cat, and one of the lines stuck with me, which was something like, "I am convinced he is superior to all other cats in the world," and it's like, yep, no, I can absolutely, you know, that is some prime cat dadness right there that I don't, you know, like, it doesn't really get that much more. And it's kind of funny to think that, like, we think of this almost cat obsession as being a modern thing, but it's really not. I mean, it's literally thousands of years of people being dotty about cats. I mean, even if you don't look at the the actual literal worship of cats as sort of somewhat divine beings or representative of divine beings, people on the individual level have been gaga about cats for quite a long time. Heck, that's actually reminded me, there was another video, and this wasn't an emperor, this was some poet, bureaucrat dude who is more famous for his classical Chinese poems about non-cat things, but also wrote a couple of poems about his cat because he just really liked his cat. And it was stuff like, I got this cat so that it would hunt the mice, and, you know, it would be self-sufficient, and it would take care of itself. You know, I got this cat because it would be a working cat. And it sort of then turns into, but actually, you know, I've been down the market, I've bought some fish for the cat, he doesn't hunt anymore, he just lies around, he's lazy all day, but he's so lovely and I love him so much. It's like, yep, some things don't change, they really don't. Anyway, so that has been your cat tangent for this episode. Nothing to do with the Hardi whatsoever. That's gotta be the scorner that's detected me there. But I don't think they're too interested in opening fire. We seem to kind of be in the driving seat right now. Okay, that Scharnhorst is taking a bit of an interest, so let's actually, yeah, let's, oh, there's the scorner. Let's cease fire, puts out some random torps that might catch this scorner. We could go for this cap. What do I want to do? A bit risky maybe. I don't know if I'll have a lot of... Maybe let's just spin round. The Kansas is coming this way. Let's spin round and get the torps off at the Kansas. Scharnhorst also coming this way, but I think the Kansas will be a better drop in terms of relative angles. Right, I think I outspot the schooner, but like maybe not. I honestly can't remember what it is offhand. Only just, so let's just, yeah, okay, nip behind this island. And, ooh, hopefully not take too much damage. Schooner can afford to take some damage because they've got a heal. I do have a Hampshire friend up here. Oh, hello, Kansas. Oh, that wasn't very nice. And Scharnhorst has now switched to HE, so yeah, sort of trying to go forward. There we go. Would have been only one torpedo hit, but that would have been silly. Right, if he comes round the corner, this gunner, if he comes chasing after me, he's going to get a face full of Hampshire AP, and he's not going to enjoy that, because it's the improved pen, or improved pen angle, rather, British AP on that ship. And that does nasty things to destroyers. Hampshire's not a bad ship at all, actually. It does have that rather nasty stretched out citadel, though. It's surprisingly good in operations. I think I've covered that in a video at some point in the past. Right, there you are. Say hello to my little friend. I am a bit down on hit points. We do have more overall, but, you know, I've lost some already. Right, Hampshire, nobble him. You know you want to. Give him a broadside of that lovely, lovely AP. Nice. I actually got him with a torpedo as well. Which was enough of his health to give me a dev strike. Right, so we didn't even need the Hampshire's help, which is fine. Okay, overall impression of this so far, though, not bad. I think getting to use... Like, it's a weird gimmick because it's such a passive gimmick. Like, you don't have to do anything actively yourself. Apart from, like, try and get closer. But without smoke, it's going to be a little bit unusual that you do get to nail things with full damage. And, of course, you've got your short duration emergency engine power, which I've boosted a little bit with equipment. So it's 78 seconds instead of the default, like, what would it be, 70 seconds, something like that. So, yeah, it's definitely, like, it's got decent guns, but I think this does with its torp range, even with the drop-off in damage, it does feel more like this plays around its torps. And the torps just feel so much better to use than the tier 5 and the tier 6. Because those were really... like decent range, but such little damage, and even at kind of like the max range, these still do like as much damage, if not a bit more damage. In fact, if I do hit these at like 7 kilometers, that even might be above the base amount. So yeah, like the gimmick is kind of there. It's a bit different, but not different enough that you would go, oh yeah, this is a radically different playstyle. Right, first lot obviously way past because he was manoeuvring, but we'll see what the second lot do there. Oh, well, no we won't because we won on points. Yeah, we got quite firmly in the driver's seat of that one in terms of cap control and map control. And then we just started dismantling them. I managed to get that that rather nice torpedo kill. In fact, I got 2 kills there, didn't I? So, yeah. That wasn't awful. That wasn't awful at all. This, you know, first impression. It's definitely a first impression. You saw I hadn't played this before. This feels like it is a decent tier 7 overall. But that was also a bit of a... like, the enemy team, I think, were a little bit outmatched there. Anyway, let's try another one. Okay, this time tier 9. We still have kind of lucked out in that there's no carrier and I'm only seeing 1 radar there. So, okay, again, very favourable circumstances for a smokeless destroyer. You've always got that going on, you know, you are at the mercy of the matchmaker in terms of... how much of a fun time you're going to have dodging planes. And of course, even if you do get a CV, you might have a match where the CV player leaves you alone, but you might not. I suppose at the moment these are going to be relative unknowns as the newest ships, so people might not be quite so aware that they are smokeless, unlike other ships where sometimes CVs will know that you're smokeless, and once they've spotted you, they'll just keep harassing you because you can't do much about it apart from stick on your AA. And aside from the main Swedish branch, it's generally not terribly effective. So yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see if this is as decent as the last one. What do I need to worry about in terms of? I think. Yeah, probably only the Kuniberti that I don't need to worry about spotting me first. The others I do, so I need to be a bit careful about those. And wherever the Cleveland is, obviously that's going to be an issue. So let's play this cautious. We'll set myself up to scoot out of the cap there. I have a feeling one of my skill picks on this ship is going to be radio location. Just dancing around and dealing with other destroyers when you do not have... Oh dear, that's the Kuniberti. Please no SAP. Yeah, when you don't have kind of any real conception of where they might be. Right, we need to unangle myself. Or angle myself, rather, as much as possible. Because you don't want to get slapped by the broadside SAP shells in a destroyer. It's bad news. At least we've traded a little bit. And gotten some flags. In fact, I think I've taken slightly more of their health than they took of my health. Right, I'm not going to immediately get on spot. I'm going to have to wait for the full cooldown because that Toulon is within range. Uniberti, they haven't used their smoke, so they're obviously holding back on that. Gotta watch out for their torpedoes maybe coming this way. Maybe put out the skinny launcher instead of the mid lane. The midships launcher. Oh, no, there he is again. You're wondering how you do that, by the way. You know how you can press C to choose to change between turrets when you're in this view? Well, you can do the exact same thing. This is, I expect most people know this, but if you have multiple launchers available, it will let you swap between launchers. So it's quite handy sometimes because not every destroyer has got equal, as it were, launchers. Some of them are like this, where it's 3 and 2 instead of. Well, I don't know. I don't know why they did it this way. Just, I don't know, space and tonnage constraints, I expect. That Alsace is kind of just going for it. I'm not sure that's the wisest idea. They're getting rather spanked there by the Wujing. Siegfried's got some nasty battleship grade guns as well. Oh, and there's a De Grosser. Yeah, I don't know if I would be doing that. But the Wujing is fully focused, so therefore might eat a torpedo? No, I don't think they're going to take one. And the Siegfried is too far away. They'll run out before they hit the Siegfried. I don't know if it's being picked up. He's not meowing as loudly anymore, but it's just these little soft, pitiful meows. Poor Percy. Don't ever feed you, do I? He's a very nice cat, but I've not connected with him in the same way that I connected with Sam. He's definitely still in the realm of guest cat. It's funny, all my friends, when I first got him, they were like, oh, so basically, yeah, I know you've said he's a foster, but you just got yourself another cat, right, really? You're just going to keep him. And honestly, I half didn't know myself, but, you know, as I've got to know him, it's like, he's a nice enough cat, but there's no cat chemistry. It sounds weird if I put it that way, maybe, but you know, I just he's not a Sam type of cat, and even if he wasn't the Sam type of cat, but he was still a cat that I really got on with. But you know, maybe I would keep him. Anyway, these torpedoes look good. But I'm just, I don't know, I am glad I've been in a position to help the wee fella get out of a bad situation. Right, this is going to be not a lot of damage, but it'll be something. 76, okay, so that's a bit more on the belt maybe. There was more of a damage reduction there. Oh, okay, let's help out the Senyang. We can make this a 2v1. Get the Uniberti to panic, and then you don't have a smoke available because you've used it already. So that's kind of rubbish for you. And I can actually use some of my allies' smoke here as well. Right, we do need a cap. It's not looking so good points-wise. The Grosso probably will have their Hydra running. I think we'll just try and run in and grab the B cap. Half health. It's not amazing. The Johan has had plenty of opportunity to try and disengage. But, I don't know. They are doing some decent damage to the Wuxing, though. Another relatively protected position. The Siegfried, however, let's not forget, does have torpedoes. And I would stick around and help, but we really need a cap. We need to stem the bleeding. It's one of those times when you've got to make a call. And, yeah. I think the call is this at this point. We need to not be losing quite so many victory points. Oh, Johan at least is using the islands. We're not ploughing in. I'm just going to drop that there. What have they also got left? Kitakaze. Definitely don't want to run into the Kitakaze. They are down south. Oh, Minigumo. Okay. I was kind of vaguely tempted to buy one of those, but did not. I was also vaguely tempted to buy the current anime collab thing they've got going. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Something Blue, or I don't know. The first week was a version of the Turpits. And I know I was kind of criticising, and I have criticised in the past, but I've also weirdly praised in the past when Wargaming, like the Colour Regatta ships, that was it, when Wargaming just is like, here's a copy of an existing ship. I think I'm maybe less critical if it's like an existing premium ship, like the Black Friday ships, rather than here's a premium version of a tech tree ship. But I mean, at least it's not as awful as here's a new, you know, totally overpowered premium ship or something like that, I suppose. But it's one of those things where it's like there is definitely criticism to be levelled there. But on the other hand, it could be worse. So, I don't know. It's sort of a slightly weird situation, maybe. Right, you are coming in to try and flush me out, and I don't like that, so I'll try and use one of these. I might get in with a torpedo, depends how defensively cautious he's being in terms of like hydro. May or may not. Like, the fact that this is the Cleveland is kind of annoying. It forces me to keep my distance. And he's just immediately going to unflip a cap I've already flipped. The Cuniberti's still very much alive and kicking. Well, that's just bad news for everybody. That's the point where you go, oh balls, because we're caught between a Cuniberti and Cleveland. And there's not a lot one can do about it. I may be able to gun down this Cuniberti though. It's not got that much health left. So there goes the Shenyang. I need to keep going this way, because, yeah, that's a Cleveland. Do not want. I'm at least far enough away that I can maybe do some dodging of the Cleveland. Ooh, hello torpedoes. It's fine, this is fine. Oh, no, hello, I am still spotted by the Siegfried. That's not fine, that's not fine at all. Oh dear. Okay. This is slightly hairy. I don't think we're going to win this one somehow. We are just about keeping alive by the skin of our teeth. We are recapping A, but yeah, we've lost most of the team. I think we're only like 2 ships behind them, but I mean, just looking at what else is going on right now, yeah, the map control is there. I really hope you just keep going in a straight line, Siegfried, but I don't know that you will. That was a rather hopeful drop. Can I maybe re-grab the C cap from the De Grossa? The good news with having lost so much health is our reload is now down to just over 90 seconds. But, yeah, still kind of a longish reload. Where is this DeGrosser? The Cleveland's still very much alive, but they were going that way. Now you've turned around, Siegfried, and there is the DeGrosser, who still has quite a lot of health. Okay, that's not great. That's very much not great. And they can just turn south and not have to worry about my torpedoes. Okay, we might get to the cap, but at best we're just going to slightly delay the inevitable by, yeah, you are turning south, by making it contested or maybe starting to flip it. I just don't think there's enough time. We really don't have a lot of people left, and they have some quite healthy ships, and I don't know if we do. I can only see the Lion from here. The Lion does, at least. Yeah, map control. The map control was not good. And we lost, I think losing Alsace early here on this cap certainly did not help matters. Is this going to get there in time? I'm not sure that it is. They're reasonably fast torpedoes, but they're not fast enough to, like, even 8 kilometers. I don't think they're fast enough. It's basically where the lines cross over is the intersection point. Yeah, okay, there's not much I can do here except getting the cap. Maybe we'll kill some stuff, I don't know. Don't think this DeGrosser is, I don't think there's any chance they're going to suddenly swing round, present a nice broadside for my torpedoes, sadly. The Monarch is kind of coming this way. But I don't know if there's enough time to do anything with that information. We're at 950 points. Okay, less than a minute. Oh, never mind. I was going to say less than a minute left before the timer goes down, but we just lost somebody, so that was enough points. Didn't even get to finish the cap. Oh well. So rather less damage this time, and it was definitely a more challenging environment, even without there being a CV in play. I still think I did okay under the circumstances. It was kind of a tough gig, really, but I think compared to other tier 7s I can think of, I'd have probably struggled to really make any more difference than I did there. So yeah, I think I feel okay with that performance. So yeah, this does seem like a more enjoyable ship than its predecessor, which I don't think is bad necessarily. It felt like such barely an upgrade to the tier 5. Maybe that just means the tier 5 is like really good for its tier. I don't know. Sometimes it does feel like that. You go up a tier and it's like, oh yeah, this previous one was felt really fun for its tier, and then it's like, this barely feels like an upgrade, but the matchmaking is so much worse. Anyway, so the last one I have available for now, before they actually become a live branch, is the L'Aventurier. So we'll do that some other day, hopefully with less of a gap, and hopefully with less of my neighbour going bang 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 on the wall and Percy going meow 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 in the background because he's a poor starving kitty cat. Yes. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can do all the usual things down underneath it, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.